Hello there, this is Yana for W+9, and thank you for joining me today. With Valentine's Day being just around the corner, I wanted to share not necessarily a Valentine's Day card for a loved one, but more of a French Valentine's Day card. I think it's appropriate to give sweet cards like this or similar on Valentine's Day to friends, family, and coworkers. I started working on this project by die-cutting the letters to spell hugs, kisses, using the WHIMSY Alpha companion dies. I cut them out of white paper and I'm stamping the corresponding letters onto these die cuts using the Falling for Blue ink. I got my sentiment idea from another stamp set from W+9, Valentine's Wishes. There's one sentiment that says hugs and kisses and Valentine's Wishes. So I wanted to spell the hugs and kisses part using the oversized letters and then add the Valentine Wishes part using that original stamp set. I also stamped a banner using Lake House ink. I had to stamp it several times as I had some pink ink residue in my stamp, so I was trying to get rid of that. And next I cut it out using a companion die. Once I had the banner shape cut out, I stamped the end Valentine Wishes part using the same Falling for Blue ink. I have a piece of printer paper here, and this serves sort of as a card base at the moment. I often use this thin, cheap paper when I want to test stamp my idea. I also use it for masking and for some other things in my card making. So I always have these 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch printer paper panels on my desk, and I really think it's helpful to have them. So I'm using this panel as a fake card front, and I'm arranging the letters and the banner the way I'd like these arranged on the finished card. I'll later move these elements onto my front panel. I also want to embellish these letters using some florals, and one of my favorite floral sets from W+9 is the Fresh Cut Florals. I've used companion dies from here and cut each shape out just once out of white paper. It's easier with these solid dies to first cut the shape out and later do the stamping. I'm going to use rather unexpected colors of ink to stamp the images. I'm using gray, this is silver lining ink, to stamp the leaves as well as the stems of my flowers. And I'm also using Bloomsbury as well as a darker purple to stamp the florals and the berries. I don't think I've ever combined purple with gray and blue in the past. Maybe I have, but I just don't remember. But I think this is a really stunning and a really cool color combo. I love how these colors work together, and I'm sure I'll be using this color combo again in the future. After my stamping was done, I foam mounted these images onto a panel of gray cardstock, and this is Dove Gray cardstock from W+9 that's cut to 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches, and I'll later trim this panel to be just 4 inches wide. I taped my panel onto my work surface so that it would stay put and I don't have to hold it down with my hand all the time. I wanted it centered on my grid pad as I was using that grid to align the images and make sure I adhere everything in the center. I foam mounted hugs, then foam mounted kisses, and then foam mounted the banner on top of the hugs and kisses as a second layer. Lately, I have been enjoying doing selective dry embossing or just dry embossing using my bone folder and a scoring board. Now, this is such an old technique, but I just can't get enough of this simple linear look. I think it's very modern and trendy at the moment. So once again, I grabbed my scoring board. Now, this particular board has been discontinued, unfortunately, but any other scoring board should work no problem for this. And I added lines at 1/2 inch intervals, avoiding the central sentiment area. Now I did mess up and added one of the score lines at a 1/4 inch interval instead of a 1/2 inch interval that was closer to the bottom of my panel. So I added another one just like that at the top of my panel to make it look as if it was intended like that. I trimmed my panel to be 4 inches wide and foam mounted onto the card base made out of white cardstock. I then used glue and adhered the leaves and flowers, finishing this sentiment cluster. I did use my Tonic Nuvo drops in Violet Galaxy to add dimensional flower centers to my flowers. I hope you feel inspired to create and will give this idea a try. If you do try it, please tag me in W+9 on social media so we can take a look at your project. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!